Okay there, so what is up back? We are back here for another episode of Dreaming With. So last week, right, we did see a video on me collecting my first Asian Arowana, right? And I ended the video over there. I didn't really show you guys what happened at home. I did say that I will show you guys once we're back home. Yeah, so I think that video has been out there. I think it's about more than 2 weeks or so since we got the Asian Arowana. Then I decided to do a follow-up video later on how is the Arowana progressing. Kind of few reasons why I'm actually doing this though. One of it is actually yeah, I don't really have much videos to post out, but then no lah actually. Okay, jokes aside, but why am I actually doing this, right? Many people ask like, Ken, you've been doing a lot of freshwater videos recently. I don't discriminate fish though. I like fresh, I like salt, so that's why you see I have like saltwater videos, freshwater videos, and this video is for two reasons. One, just gonna explain to you guys a little bit about Arowana tanning. Two, is also more of like a record for me to keep a record on how my Asian Arowana is growing. Okay, so first up, let's talk a bit about why am I interested in Arowana. Some people say it's age. As you get older, right, you tend to like Asian Arowana. So I don't know when, but yeah, I do feel that I'm getting older. But like what people say, no, you got the more uncle kind of vibes, you know, you start to like things like the Arowana, so forth and so on. But that's not really the case of why I do prefer Asian or why I have this craze over Asian Arowanas though. It's not really because of I'm growing old. It's because Asian Arowanas, right? Like, you know, if you keep fish for so many years, and there is not many fish out there that you can actually do a lot to it. Meaning that how the raising process, right, doesn't really affect the fish at all. For example, if you keep most of the saltwater fish, when you first bought it since young all the way to keep it for the next 2 to 3 years, it will usually still look the same. Am I right? Compared to, let's say, if you keep an Asian Arowana. So an Asian Arowana, right, there's a lot of tricks. I wouldn't say tricks, but I would say more of like a grooming, tanning kind of behavior to it, which is why I want to comment about this video today. Yeah, it's like raising an Arowana is really like raising a little child though. There's a lot of, it's pretty similar how you get him to groom. The background, the lights, the food, the water quality will affect the end result of how an Asian Arowana will look. So, and it's not like maybe a 2 to 3 months process though. An Asian Arowana takes about 15 years for it to be fully mature. Not really say fully mature, but for it to really grow to its full size. Yeah, this is the lifespan of an Asian Arowana. Some can even go longer. Many say that it can go up to 30, but I've never actually seen an Asian Arowana up to 30 years old before myself. Yeah, and because like these guys have like 3 periods of their lifetime when they do change. Like when they're younger, their first potential color is there, and then as they grow older and older and older, right, their colors will keep on going forth, back and forth, back and forth. So today we're actually going to talk about tanning. I think tanning is something that a lot of our YouTubers, a lot of YouTube videos out there that shares a lot about tanning, on how to tan Asian Arowanas, what to do with Asian Arowanas. So I'm not going to bother you with all these things on very in-depth, because there's a lot of other videos out there that is more in-depth, that actually tells you a lot more on Asian Arowanas. I will leave a couple of links below where I do get all my information from on Asian Arowana. So I'm just going to be a bit more direct to you guys, right? So what I'm actually having now, I have this blue-based Crossback. I've got this from a good friend of mine from Superior Arowanas. Right now it's in a small tank. As you guys can see, this whole area is supposed to be his full tank, but right now he's still in a small tank because he's actually going through his tanning process. So why do we tan Asian Arowanas, people will ask? Especially when you're younger, right? The potential is there to tan, but one thing you have to know is genetics. Many people who say that if you do well in tanning, your fish will look good. True, but not true as well. If you don't get a very good gene pool Asian Arowana, right, the quality will not still be there. So one thing for sure is genes. You need to know where your Asian Arowana comes from, the brood stock, the parents, lineage, so forth and so on, right, to make sure that you have a good result. So some people say that if your fish has a very good genes, you don't really need a very good tanning, you will still get very quality fish. I do agree with this. This is why when I first got him, right, I did tell myself that, okay, I need to get something very, very good quality. So this is why I went out to a good friend of mine to actually got one of the juveniles from him. So once you get a very good fish with a good genetic, right, the next thing you can do is tanning. So Asian arowanas usually go into three types. We just put it in three general guidelines: your red arowanas, your crossbacks. This branch out into two different types as well. You have your gold base as well as your blue base. That is where it varies from there. Red arowanas, pretty simple. Okay, I wouldn't say it's pretty simple. Red arowanas are harder to maintain, harder to get the colors to grow. These guys here, they fade, they go up, they fade, they intensify here and there quite often. Yeah, but then for background wise, usually people like to keep them in very black tank background, strong lighting. Water is one thing that is very crucial for red arowanas. Feeding is another thing as well. For crossbacks, it's slightly easier. These guys tend to be a bit more willing or understanding with water parameters firstly. Difference in their gold base, blue base, like difference in them. White, the gold base kind, which is your 24K gold, those are very good with white tanks. If you usually do like a white tank treatment or white tank tanning, right, which is basically something like this, all four sides are white. Lights from the top, lights from the side, white LEDs. You usually get them to grow the golds very well. Keep them there for 6 months, right? You do see that your arowanas will start to intensify with the color, and then maybe about 3 years old or even longer, right? That's where it really gets a very nice solid 24K gold. Then you can consider to move it into a darker tank, which usually if you move into a darker tank, right, you tend to wash away the gold again. But if you really want to keep 24K, right, I would suggest to go with a white tank. So the next part is what we have behind here, which is the blue base crossbacks. So blue base crossbacks, right, these guys are a bit more tricky. You have a lot of different types. So you have your green base, your purple base, your purple blue base, your blue base, and then your very dark blue base. So there's so many variants of blue base out there. You have your golden blue base. There's so many different types. So yeah, so it really depends on what blue base you get. So it's okay, to make it simple, right, blue base crossbacks are more of your darker base color arowanas. So they have that very nice blue base with that you don't get the 24K kind of gold of the shimmer that you get from a golden arowana. So why do we do this tanning for them as well? Is because like for young, right, this is recommended that you guys put a blue base in a white tank. Okay, it really depends on you though. If you really want a very, very black fish, a very dark blue base fish, throw it into a black tank. It will darken up within the next 1 or 2 months time. But for me itself, right, for my own preference, I would say that this is tanning is really based on preferences. Some people like this, some people like that. So it really depends on what you like. For me, right, what I want to do is I want to intensify that gold first. So build up that gold shimmer in it before building up that dark base out. So for me, right, what I'm actually doing for my blue base right now, right, I'm actually putting it in a small tank with all sides white, and then with lights from both sides. These are all white LEDs. 24/7, no, I don't turn off my lights, because one thing that I noticed, right, when you turn off lights for Asian arowanas, they tend to jump a lot. As in, that little flicker here and there, right, will cause them to jump. That little stress also will affect the colorations and all this other stuff. So I also just leave it on 24/7. Not too bright though. Don't tend your arowanas with too intensified lighting. It's no good for the eyes as well. Yeah, so I'll just put it in here with just enough sufficient white LEDs to tan it up. So for the next 6 months, right, it's just going to be here to build up that shimmer, which is that gold flick or that gold patterns in it, right? So once it's actually fully gold, then I will transit it over into a black tank to bring up that blue in it, and then hopefully it darkens up so it gets this very nice each scale, right, you start to see that the base color will start to be very dark blue, and then the rims of it will start to have this very nice gold trimming. So that is my ideal fish I want for a blue base crossback. So this is why I'm actually doing this. So yeah, so I currently right now I'm doing like a small white tank treatment with just all white LEDs just to build up the gold. So maybe he's going to be here for 6 months to about a year, and then I'm going to move him to a bigger black tank. That's where I'll start to darken him up to get the more blue base color out from him. So that's how I'm going to tan this guy. So this is more of like a starting video to do like a video log, a vlog for it to see the color of it right now, and then probably like another 6 months to another 1 year later, I will start to show you guys another video to see how much has he turned, how gold has he turned, and then after that maybe another video on us moving it to a black tank, and in that black tank, right, how much did it change. So arowanas, one fish, there's a lot of different ways you can actually do it, which there's a progression, which is kind of really nice though, to actually see the animal transit from here to there. So yeah, so I believe it's a very short update, but I didn't really want to really bore you guys out with Asian arowanas. Probably we'll do another video, a separate video on feeding of arowanas. Feeding of arowanas also have the two different methods though. They have what we call the fast growing methods, which you spam feed a lot. Slow growing methods though. Pros and cons of the two. Which arowanas prefer which type. Your reds, your crossbacks will benefit more to fast growing or slow growing methods. This is something that I want to share with you guys on the next upcoming video. But for today, right, what we're really going to focus on is tanning. Tanning for Asian arowana. So I'll just summarize everything up to you. So if you really want to try an arowana, right, depends on what you have, what are preference, and what do you really want at the end goal of your arowana. So let's just do a summary on what we know about tanning. First up, we talk about reds. The red arowanas usually prefer a bit more highlighting. I think there's a lot of arowana shops that actually sell the really nice LED strips, right? Maing is a very good brand. I do like the Maing LEDs. Very nice. They have like for the reds, and then they have for the golds and the all-purpose kind. If you get the right ones, right, for the right fish, it's actually really nice though. Placement of LEDs. I always recommend you to put them in front. If your tank is very tall, always go at least two strips. I'll recommend, because you know your fish is always up down, right? So you want a proper uniform tank, right? You need to make sure that your light is uniform as well. So if you don't lower the water volume, right, you keep it a very high water volume, right, and you just run one light in the middle, right, if your fish is always on top, always below, right, it doesn't work at all also, right? Makes sense, right? So depends on your water level, how much strips you need. But for reds, do get a bit stronger lighting. I always do one in front, one behind of the tank, so to cover the whole area there. So just let the light bounce around to cover the fish from all angles. Yeah, that's mainly for reds. For crossbacks wise, if you are going for the golden 24K golden crossbacks, right, those guys, go white tank, go full white tank, white LEDs, slightly lesser of an intensity compared to the reds. Yeah, and you should really get that very nice golden color. For blue base wise, same thing for younger. Get it to gold up first, and then as it gets bigger in age, move over to a black tank to pull out that blue base in it. But that also depends on the genetic. So if let's say your blue base, right, is more gold base than blue base, then you can do the white tank treatment, you get very good results. But if your fish is a very dark kind of blue base, right, no matter how much you try a white tank, right, you also don't get that very nice gold color. Or even if you do, once you move it into a black tank, you usually start to lose that gold again. So it really depends on what you really like though, and that's where we move from there. So yeah, so these are the three different types, three different tanning methods that you can use for your Asian arowana. So this guy is pretty cute though. He's about still young, eating really well, doing really well. Colors are getting better though. They started to have this very nice shimmer on it, and you can start to see that that blue base is coming up as well already. So just going to keep him here for the next couple of months until his full tank is here, and then we'll move him over to the new tank. So yeah, I believe very short video today. I'm just going to share with you guys on the updates of this area here. What is this area here going to be? It's going to be a full tank, Asian arowanas with a couple of rays, and that's it. Yeah, just very simple, just more of like a hobby tank for me, just to keep it. Yeah, so same thing, if you like all the videos that I put up for you guys, remember to hit that subscribe button, like our videos, share our videos. I'm just not going to go in depth with arowana. This is more like a vlog to document this guy's growth. That's all, and just to share with you guys a little bit about the Asian arowanas, what to do with the Asian arowanas, that's all. So yeah, so same thing, like, share it out, and I'll see you guys soon next week.